morning. I would like to inform the forum about the activity that was led by Professor Piyasakon, a forum among discussion among stakeholders from academia, private sector, industry, public health, and regulatory authorities. We were discussing about how to move biopharmaceutical industry in Thailand. Yes, well, health security is part of the BCG. I would like also to mention what Dr. Sweet mentioned in the morning, that we have four kind of pillars in the BCG. Medical and wellness is part of it. And in this pyramid, as Dr. Karanalong mentioned earlier, that there are pyramids, and it seems like the health and medicine is kind of on top of other pyramid, but all the pyramids are important. I think the health and wellness is kind of related to all the four pyramids. Within the medical and wellness itself, we see bioactive compound, also natural compound at the bottom, more volume, lower in value, and biosimilar herbal medicinal product as a second tier in the pyramid. And then we see precision medicine, genomics and such as things that on top of the pyramid. And I would like to mention also that we see that medical and wellness are interrelated to others. For example, you see from the previous presentation that food, agriculture, and also medical tourism are related to the health industry. And also we are one of the things that Thailand lacks the most in pharmaceutical industry is medicine, I mean drug industry, chemical product, chemical industry that lead to drug industry, which is lack the most in Thailand. I mean, among the country with similar level of development, Thailand lack this part of industry, and we are seeking collaboration with the biochemical industry to develop this as well. A little bit mentioned that medical bioeconomy is related to health security, but also we want to create industry and also equality. When we say equality, we mean that inequality of access to high value medicinal product, especially precision medicine, personalized medicine are one of the problem at the moment, and it would be emerging problem in the future, and we like to address that too. A little bit of opportunity and challenge. We import a lot of drug, medicinal product. We face emerging disease. There's a large volume of health expenditure, and we see this as opportunity that we want to develop biopharmaceutical product to fill the gap. Well, in terms of mechanism, is probably not much different from other area. We want to develop ecology for development of the drug and biologics. This also involve the regulatory authority and also the industry and R&D in ecology in general as well. We want to develop workforce. We want to develop infrastructure, and what we want to provide this as a service to other industry, like to be the medical hubs in the regions. Probably also related to the health tourism. Well, in terms of, a little bit about the mechanism, I would say that in general, whatever you do, you would need all this area to make a successful project or product. But in our discussion, we think that we want to emphasize on what Dr. Sweet mentioned in the morning. We need commitment from investor, which is the government and also private sector. We want to have long-term commitment in the investment, and we want to have good management to drive the project to the success. So for medicine, biopharmaceutical product, as I mentioned, is a pyramid on top of other pyramids, so it's smaller. So the activity is going to be more focused. So the thing is only to pick up the right product, right opportunity, and to find right partner and to drive this into success. So I would like to mention to you two examples of the program that is ongoing. It's actually ongoing because of the BCG itself, but also ongoing a little bit before even the BCG come to the concept. Vaccine infrastructure has been one of the priority area in health security in Thailand for a while now, and it is very obvious when the COVID hit that we lack vaccine security in Thailand, vaccine production capability, and this is the urgent area to develop. Luckily, we have public-private partnership that should secure Thailand for COVID vaccine in the near future. There are several vaccine candidates. You probably heard about the collaboration between Siam Bioscience and AstraZeneca to develop, to produce the adenoviral vaccine, chimp adenoviral vaccine. In addition to that, there are public-private partnership within Thailand to develop messenger RNA vaccine and DNA vaccine, and this from the university collaborate with a company called BioNet Asia in Thailand. And we hope that this will lay the infrastructure not only for the response to COVID-19, but also to respond to the future emerging infectious disease as well, because you see all the vaccine in development, the DNA, RNA, and viral vector vaccine. For me, I would like to think of this as the digital vaccine, and I myself always think that we are facing the change of vaccine technology from analog to digital. What I mean by that, analog means that when you develop conventional vaccine, you culture the pathogen, you make the antigen somehow, and you make it into vaccine. But for the messenger RNA, DNA, and viral vector vaccine, you actually use the information, the genetic information of the virus, of the pathogen, not the pathogen itself, to make it into vaccine. And that's why this approach are much more rapid than the conventional vaccine, and that would be the vaccine of the future. If I personally would like to advocate for future vaccine, I think we have to change some or many of our current vaccine from analog into digital, so that in the future our digital vaccine infrastructure will be ready and can respond rapidly to whatever emerging threat in the future. A little bit about resource in the ASEAN. You see that Thailand is probably in the middle of everything in terms of readiness and infrastructure, and we cope with COVID-19 pretty well. I think partly because everybody is corporate. I mean, ready to help to prevent the spread, and also the public health authority was very quick on the control of the first outbreak, and also close all the possible incoming of the virus that we haven't faced the second outbreak yet. This is the news on the signing ceremony on the vaccine production with AstraZeneca with the Siam Bioscience company. Well, that's the first example. The second example is a genomic, something we call genomic Thailand. Genomic Thailand is an effort to produce 50,000 genomes from Thai people. Well, while one may argue whether every country would need their genome profile or the genetic project of the National Genetic Genome Project, because for many people, they think that genetically people in the same region are quite similar in terms of genome or genetic. But in fact, it's not quite like that. I mean, Thailand is in the middle of, transit point of population movement, and we have Southern Chinese heritage. We also have mixture of people around the area as well. So we like to think actually we have data that our genetic makeup of Thai people are kind of to the point that we need to sequence our own population to be effectively manage our genome application in the future. But the purpose of doing genome database or Genomic Thailand project is not only to produce data, but also to provide business opportunity and to implement genome data processing in Thailand, so that we can kind of have a pooling effect for a lot of industry or business or service to use genomic data to launch successfully. Without this and using only genomic data from abroad, it would be very difficult for Thai business to use genome data to build a service in Thailand. The National Genomic Thailand focus on a couple of things. One is to focus on a couple of diseases. One is the rare disease. The other is cancer, and also the other is the pharmacogenomics. And we have, as I said, the rare disease that would be very important in prenatal diagnosis and newborn screening, cancer, and also pharmacogenomics. In parallel to this Genomic Thailand, there is a large consortium to do genome sequencing for pharmacogenomic purpose. And this is a regional collaboration that happened kind of in parallel to the Genomic Thailand approach. In summary, and this is the impact. I mean, we hope that we produce a large impact by producing or developing new economies on new service using this data and this infrastructure to develop new business. In conclusion, I would like to report that in our forum, we think that we will develop this BCG for biopharmaceutical product using project-based approach. In the project-based approach, we will target specific product. As I mentioned, that from biopharmaceutical is a small area compared to other, and we don't have a lot of player. We can target some of them, and we are looking for right partner to develop this together. And while we develop this in the project-based approach, we will develop people, infrastructure, and regulatory environment. And all these products are biologics, vaccine, personalized medicine, advanced therapy, and these are kind of ongoing. but we are looking also to start a new program on drug development, small molecules development, which is the I think the weak point in Thailand, and we are looking forward to kind of move it a little bit more. Thank you very much for your attention.